Fire Every Life podcast. I am your host, Sion Burhane Gabro Mikael, and what a treat that we are all in for this evening. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share some insights with you on our very own The Aligned Man Speaks series. I am happy to welcome my wonderful guest who I have known for some time, Mr. Coach Wiggins. Welcome in, Coach Wiggins.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on your show, so thank you very much.
Oh, well, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to be with us and our viewers today. Everybody, I want to share a little bit about Coach Wiggins' background. Coach Wiggins is a transformational coach. He's a leader, a speaker, and an entrepreneur who helps men and women heal from the wounds that leave no scars. He's the creator behind the Raw movement, Resistance Against the World, and the Facts of Life framework, which is faith, accountability, character, tenacity, and strategy. It's designed to help people build real discipline, identity, and spiritual alignment. Through coaching, content, and community building, Coach Wiggins challenges people to stop performing strength, but start becoming whole and start putting God first in every area of their life. So welcome again, Coach Wiggins.
Thank you.
So I want to start today with a few questions that I think you would be the perfect person to help provide some context in terms of many men out there who might be listening, trying to fit God into their busy schedules. How do you intentionally shift from fitting God into your life to building your life around His will?
That's a good question. What I would say for me, I basically stopped asking, what do I want first? And start asking, what is required of me from God to do this? Mm-hmm. But it didn't happen because I just all of a sudden thought that. Mm-hmm. I had to hit a low first. And when I really hit that low, I had to go back to what I was taught as a child from my mother and my grandmother. Mm-hmm. And when I went back there, that's kind of goes back to the facts foundation. I had to find my foundation, which was built in me when I was young, even though I didn't see it then. So I stopped trying to chase what I wanted, and I started asking, what do God want from me?
Okay, I see where you're going. So when we talk about the aligned man, in your view, what is the biggest lie you think that society has told men about what it means to be successful in life?
Oh, the biggest lie?
Yeah.
I would say
one of the biggest lies.
Okay, the biggest one though, I would say is that we have to solely put everything on our shoulders. And I would say the word that they like to use is provide. But the Bible said we are meant to be covers to our women and children. We have to put them under covering. But covering doesn't mean just providing for them. You have to lead them.
Right.
And so a lot of times when you're just trying to provide, you're just trying to bring in some money. Well, your family might even not need money. They need you. And so the biggest lie to me is that as long as you're providing money, you're the head of your household. That's not the case. I had to learn that the hard way.
So it's more about covering. You said a word that I kind of want you to dig into in terms of leading. When you think of leadership and alignment, how do those two things go together? You know, your leadership and being aligned.
Alignment, if you ask me, is you can lead without being in alignment, but you really, for true peace, you need to be in alignment, because Your work is not your job, and your job is not your work.
Okay.
And sometimes I guess it could be, but for the most part, it's really not. Because what God wants you to do, what you was built to do,
Mm-hmm.
it comes so easy to you that you almost put it on the back burner to the point where you just don't think that that's what you should be doing. You understand what I'm saying?
No, what do you mean by that?
So it's like what comes natural to you
Mm-hmm.
is so easy to you that you don't see how you could charge, how you should be charging for that. So when you go work a job, it's like, I guess that goes back to the biggest lie. We basically have been taught that work hard, busy work.
Mm-hmm.
And we get away from our true selves. But God invented you to be your true self. And if you could be your true self, they say where your heart is where your treasure lies.
That's right.
If you're your true self, it comes easy to you, but you can actually make money from being your true self. And like I said, I had to learn that myself.
So what do you think is one of the major opportunities in being yourself that you had to turn down in order to be aligned to your calling? Because you're multifaceted, right? So you have your nonprofit, you're an entrepreneur, you coach young boys into becoming men, you have a family. Was there any time in your life where you had to say no to some things to prioritize other things in order to stay in the will of God?
So for me, that's funny because I had to turn down everything.
So what like what?
I say that because I'm not your typical success story, because my path to where I am now comes from running the streets. And when I say running the streets, I basically mean I pretty much sold some form of paraphernalia since I was 15 till about 40.
Okay.
So I've been out there. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. So when you say giving up something, a lot of people thought I was successful in the streets' eyes because I had cars, house, money, but I was empty.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know I was empty until my mom passed. And when my mom passed, I hit a low that everybody else kept moving. They kept moving on, but I just couldn't move on. And I'm looking at everything for what it was, and it was like, it's not making sense to me. Well, nothing making sense. So like I said, when I went back to what my mom and them taught me, which was the church, because I rebelled against that my whole life, I finally grew from that. So you say, what did I give up? I gave up cars, the women, the life that everybody thinks is glamorous. Like I've been told this many a times. I lived a rapper's lifestyle without being a rapper. You know what I mean? So, and it was, I guess at the time when I was younger, it was fun. But as you get older, it gets old.
Right.
Once it gets old, it's like there is no retirement plan. There is no, there's nothing to fall back on. You get left holding an empty bag.
Well, that's good.
Right? There's nothing you can trade it in for. Nobody cares about how many cars you had, how many houses you had. They want to know, what do you have now? How many girls you took? None of that matters. And nobody tells our young men that's chasing the street life because it's glamorous. It's good for the moment. But when your moment is over, every single person, if they're telling the truth, your moment is going to come to an end. And
Right.
it doesn't happen like it's over. It's just all of a sudden your phone stopped ringing. And I explained it to somebody like this before.
Okay.
When I was younger, I had, I would have the rims and the cars and the sounds. Phone was always ringing. But as you get older and you start trying to distance yourself from the noise, instead of riding on cars with rims and stuff, all of a sudden you're trying to be low key. Well, really what you're doing is you're slowly but surely putting your end date on your life in the streets. Because as soon as you start trying to be low key, the young people are coming up and they want to be flashy. So your phone ain't nobody checking for you no more. They checking for the flashiness. You trying to stay out of the way.
Right.
But you don't realize that means your money's going to start flowing at some point.
Right.
Because you're not out there no more.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really put that together. But once it happened to you, you like, oh. And then what does it look like at, I'm just saying, 37, 38, 40, trying to go get a job for real at the first time? You think I've been making real money? I'm finna go work for $12 an hour? That don't even make sense. But by now you got kids, you got a house to take care of, you got a lot of stuff you got to do. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
And for me, like I said, I'm thankful that I had a praying grandmother, praying mother that taught me some stuff that I didn't know that I needed, but they taught me what to go back to, and it hurt. I don't want y'all to understand, make it think like it was easy, because you got to grow down first. But it hurt me to shed all that stuff, but I came back on the other side, and now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm like reaching back, trying to help everybody. Like, nah, they lying to y'all.
Right.
That stuff is wrong. Everything they teaching y'all out there is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for their glory, not even for their glory, for them to keep making money off of you with the wrong information. They don't care if you live or die.
No.
They don't care if your family's good. They want you to be in poverty.
Yes.
So the quicker you can start researching this stuff and finding out the information that fits you and what you want to be, because there's only two things: either you're growing or you're dying. There's no in between. And if you're living life, you should be growing. But if you're constantly stuck in the same thing, I had a thought, and I actually got to do some research on it. But I seen a stat.
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10 people would rather die than to change.
Come on here. Wow.
9 out of people would rather die. 9 out of 10 people would rather die than to change. Mm-hmm. And then if you really think about that, I put that in, when I seen the stat, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. But then when you put that to men, that's like really, I saw it like, oh, wow. So you're going to basically stay stuck doing
the same thing.
Wrong thing.
That's it.
And you know it's wrong because it ain't leading you nowhere. Then change. So you go die just doing this more of the wrong thing. That's
change is hard, Coach, for men.
Change is definitely hard, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. Try, switch it up. Because, like I said, for me, at that point, I didn't have nothing to lose. I was down in the inside.
Wow.
Even though I had money and girls, I was doing the most. But I was down in the inside. When my mom passed, I was ready to crash out, like for real. Like it didn't even matter to me because I didn't see the point in living no more. Because it got to a point where it was like, it got to be more to life than this. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't understand at that time was when they say living is more than the never-ending party. Mm-hmm. And the never-ending party is the smoking, the drinking, the hanging out, this, and that. But you never get no real rest. Once you actually get to a point where you can get some real rest, you start to understand what living is. Because I tell people outside all the time, the young folks now, they always be like, I'm outside, right? But I'm outside now more than ever. I enjoy it because I get to smell the grass. I
Yeah.
get to,
You're not always looking over your shoulder.
none of that. I ain't even thinking about none of that. But you got to
Mhm.
get out of your old comfort zone
Yeah.
to get to a point of alignment. And it's with God. Because like I said, without God, I would not be here. I know that for a fact.
So for you, what I'm hearing you say that if you had not had that major life event with your mom transitioning to go to heaven, that was a pivotal moment for you.
Oh, for
Where
sure.
there was a reckoning of your soul, because you could have just went back and did the same whoop-de-woo thing, right? You could have just went back and just did business as usual like everybody else around you, but you made a choice, right? And I always tell people your decisions decide your destiny. So your life goes in the future of your choices. So you made a significant choice. So I want people to really understand that when you choose to get right with God and you come into an alignment with His will, what I'm hearing you saying, there was some serious friction. And you had to say goodbye to yesterday in order to say hello to your tomorrow. Because you couldn't have one without the other. You couldn't be doing what you are today as this new man if you weren't willing to let the old man die.
Yes, 100%. And
Yeah.
that was the thing. I didn't know that was happening. I
Yeah.
just knew that everything had slowed down for me to a point where I was just like I said, I was ready to crash out. But once it slowed down for me, it got to a point where I had to refine myself. And that's how I came up with the Facts of Life program, which is everything starts with foundation, because I went back to the foundation of what I was taught when I was younger.
Okay.
And when I went back to that, and believe me, I don't want y'all to think that I'm perfect by no means, because God's still searching me all day, every day. But they taught me that if you're one step ahead, you can always teach somebody else. So everything that I learned, I try to hurry up and turn around and tell somebody else.
Yeah.
Because here's another interesting fact that I found out as I've been learning and doing all this stuff. Libraries are free. 96% of the people in America don't have a library card, because once we leave school, we don't read. So think about it. I'm almost 50. If you've left high school at 18 and haven't picked up a book since then, you're basically your mind is being flooded with the information they want you to have. So you're not even really yourself.
Yeah.
You're basically full of information that somebody else wants you to have to be the person that they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We have to fix it. We have to get to the point where that's one thing that I even had problems with at first with the Bible. Was I'm like, man, they just wrote that and put different words and they made it what they want to be. But this word has been around 2,000 years. So I tell people to read it for themselves. Get your own understanding. Because whether it's me, you, or anybody else, everybody gonna have a different interpretation. But I guarantee you it's gonna give you an interpretation that can move you forward from wherever you are right now. And all of the Bible ain't gonna make sense to you. But if you start finding those 1, 2 to 3 scriptures that you can hold on to, like for me, and I'll say Ecclesiastes 7:1, a good name is better than precious ointment. That means a lot to me, because even in the streets, I always did my best to keep a good name. I didn't understand what it was about then. It used to be some type of rules in the streets, some type of code. That stopped happening as I got older, but that helped me to be able to reach back and try to help the kids now, to help them understand that path, I've already did it for you. There's no winning that. There's no end to that. It's like it is a dead end. Ain't no light. It's a dead end that goes nowhere.
But one of the things that I found interesting that when I talked to you is the legacy that came from your mother's side of the family. and your grandmother, and she was a highly honorable woman who dedicated her life to the Lord, and then never gave up on you though. Like, she never seemed to let up, though she saw what you were doing. Obviously, she knew what you were up to. She always stayed consistent in not only her love, because we all love our children no matter what they do, but continuing to be that model and that example. So that was one of the things that I thought was so profound, because your mother was a part of the day where in the body of Christ we would tarry and pray and not let go of the altar until we would see that breakthrough. And I would say that her prayers have been answered, and now you're giving back to the community just like how she showed and taught you how to do, and you're carrying on her legacy. So it's interesting, because when you talk about being in alignment with God, if you're not willing to go through that level of disruption, people will always have like one area of their life really high, another one low. Maybe emotionally they're low. They'll have the relationship, they'll have the job, the car, the house. But like you said, they have this feeling of being empty. What kind of advice would you give to somebody, or what would you say to somebody who was in that quagmire, if you will, in that place where, especially men out here, because my heart goes out for the men. The men are needing to take their position. Mm-hmm. And a lot of men have forfeited their position to the woman and look to her to lead, and look to her to kind of, rear the kids and deal with dad, that kind of thing, where the man in the household has a prominent role. He is the head of the house. Christ is the head of the man, and the woman, her head is her husband. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit about where you see our men, such as yourself, are struggling in the area of taking on their position? Is it because they're so busy doing that they don't have enough time to become like who God called them to be? Or where is the disconnect?
The disconnect is honestly, especially talking to a woman, to help women.
Yes.
Is we're hurt and we don't have anybody to hear us. We want to let you know that we're hurting, but we don't want you to think that we're weak, because it has nothing to do with weakness, fellas. Just want y'all to know that. But we have never healed from whatever the wounds is from when we was younger. So now you're dealing with a grown man who's still, wow. The scars, the wounds that leave no scars. The wounds, they don't leave scars. So you don't see a scar, but what you ladies are wanting from us, we have never healed from our childhood traumas. Whatever that trauma was, all of it was different from different people. Like when you just said my mom, that's one thing I could say for my mom. She knew what I was into, but she used to always tell me she couldn't raise a man. So she used to apologize to me. I'm like, no, Ma, I'm glad you let me do what I was doing, because I learned a lot in the streets. My father got killed when I was like 10 years old. Wow. By his best friend.
Oh my goodness.
So that automatically gave me trust issues out the gate. So I've been running the streets since, like I said, I started selling at like 15, but I've been in the streets since like 13. So I said that to say she knew I was hurt and she couldn't heal me. Mm-hmm. So I had to go be around other men and learning, like I said, but even though they wasn't doing, I don't even condemn it, because I understand it. But that's what I learned from.
Yeah.
So what you ladies or women are not understanding, that most of us men are hurt from something in our past that we can't open up to nobody, so we keep moving on. So just like every good thing is compound, negative things compound, and they get bigger and get bigger and
That's
get
a
bigger.
good word.
We never get to expose it or say it to anybody, because we all, like you said, men are the covering of the women. So we have to take care of y'all.
Yeah.
So when y'all take care of us, it's more of maybe a massage, or if we're being honest, it might be some sex or something goofy like that. But it's nothing to the point of, see, y'all can go to a spa and get pampered. A spa ain't gonna help me get this weight off my shoulder.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, I'm not even a person who, I've never been to therapy, but I've been told I need therapy. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's almost like, I think a lot of us men really need some, and I can't vouch for therapy, but I think it would help, because we need somebody to get that off of us. And for me, it was God. Because out of all that time, when I said my mom knew I was hurt, what I had come to the realization when I got in alignment with God was God did everything, because I really, probably 9 times out of 10, shouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
But I realized God was my father through the whole thing.
Amen.
Even though I was looking for a father figure, but God had his hand and blessed me and turned me here and did this and did that. So God was my father through the whole thing, but I didn't see it. But once I finally got back in the Bible and stuff, I was like, oh, I've been protected my whole life and didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. Because I was out there bad. I was doing the most. Like, real for real.
Yeah, no, that's so good, Coach. Because so you're saying that, due to past hurts, but when does it come to a place where people take personal responsibility and say, hey, this is what's happened to me, so I don't leak and I don't, take it out on my woman or the kids by neglecting them or by anger or whatever it is. Either I'm going to God, I'm reaching out to get help. Why is getting help so hard for men? Because women, I know we're talkers and we don't mind counseling. I love counseling. I've been to counseling. I'm a great avid of counseling, of being counseled, getting counseled. The Bible also talks about having wise counsel in your life. I'm fortunate enough to have that in my life. I have a whole group of women. We met through a coaching program, and I've gotten a lot of great advice from you. So I believe that your circle of trust is important. Do men not develop circle of trust? I hope that's not a too elementary question, but do they not develop a circle?
It's not that we don't develop circles of trust. It's just more than likely we've been hurt by more. So in the men's culture, we are territorial by nature.
Okay.
So we're competing even when we're not competing. Even though there's no comparison. You're you for a reason, I'm me for a reason. We're always competing. So it's not as easy for us to build a circle of trust. It's more of anything, it's like you got your 2 or 3 people you're good with, everybody else is on the outs.
Okay,
right?
okay.
It's harder for us to do anything like that, to even speak to anyone, to say open up. So like when I'm on here telling you, when I keep telling everybody God, I stumbled up on this. It wasn't because I was looking to try to be healed. You understand what I'm saying? I was hurt because I was already dry. My mom passed, and then even after my mom passed, that was the first, like, me starting to see. But I really didn't even go even deeper till 3 years to the day my best friend had passed after my mom passed. And that hit me. That's when I hit my low life. Because he helped me get through when my mom passed. So now I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I wasn't looking to be healed. I didn't even think I didn't think the Bible would help me. I knew it was a better way. So like I said, when I went back to Foundation, I started reading everything. I was reading all the business books, all the self-help books, everything. And one key thing that I kept reading in all the books was the Bible. I'm like, the Bible? What is this person talking about the Bible? This person, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, everybody keep going back to the Bible. Like, okay, it gotta be something there. So I started reading the Bible. Like I said, my foundation, my mom and them already knew. So I'm like, oh. So like I said, I stumbled upon the healing part of it. Because a therapist, I didn't think, like I said, that's not for me. I still probably wouldn't go right now because I found a word. I'm just being honest with you. I don't even, those past traumas, I'm always looking forward now. I can care less about what happened in the past. It is what it is.
Right, yeah.
And I hope people that I may have hurt forgive me because I've forgiven people. But I stumbled upon you know what I'm saying, with God to be able to help me move forward. And that's why I'm out here trying to teach as many men as possible. Even if you don't go to therapy, just get in your word. Start with 5-10 minutes a day just reading. When I first started reading the Bible, I didn't understand none of it. I read the whole Bible all the way through, didn't understand not a lick. When I went back and started reading it again, all of a sudden it started clicking. It started making sense to me. And I was like, oh. And then I've been able to, like, when you listen to different people quoting Bible, you like, the Bible don't say that. It say something like that, but not that. But you're able to distinguish it for yourself. And now you can create a path forward for yourself and your family. Because whether you want to or not, reading the Bible will change you.
Amen. It'll read you.
It will change you, whether you want to or not.
It's interesting because the Word of God is not a textbook.
No, it's not.
It's a law book. It is about the government of God.
Okay.
So that is something, it's not, even the intellectuals, they can try to read it. Unless God gives you eyes to see and have an understanding, you can read the words, but you might not have an understanding. So God is the one that opens up our eyes to be able to see what the word would say to us. So it's a book that will read you. You're reading it, but at the same time, it's a mirror. It's reading you. So I love that. So I want to get into exactly. It'll expose you to yourself.
Yeah, so, and that's what you don't want to do.
So what I'm hearing you say is that men are struggling with identity, right? So
we know who we are.
Okay.
We know who we are, but the world has hardened us so much. It made us somebody different. And it's hard to get back to that person. And like I said, we can't talk to our women to help us get back to that person because they don't know that person.
They haven't met them.
They haven't met that person.
Because the brother is still trying to figure out who he is.
Right, but we've become so many different versions on top of the person that we truly are. Because once you started getting hurt, those hurts didn't go nowhere. They just compounded.
Wow.
So whenever you met your woman, your wife, your this, and that, they might met the third, fourth, fifth, seventh variation of you. The true version of you is 7 people back.
He said 7 people back.
I'm just being honest with you. So now how do I come to you to tell you that the person that you met and loved?
That's funny.
I had to change to be that person because I was hurt so many times before. And that's the true me, but I can't get back to that version of me because I might lose you.
True. And so it's interesting because I believe with every birthday there's a death day.
Okay.
So there's an old us that dies, and there's a new iteration. Every year, my hope is that people are growing. Now we know that's not to be true, but we never are going to ever have that person back there because we're always in God, in Christ. Those of us who are in Christ, we're always evolving. We're always changing. We're always growing and developing. And you're right. Sometimes you can grow into who God called you to be, and the person that you with would be like, well, who is you? You know, that's not who I married, and I'm not, down for that.
All of that.
I can't, or I don't have the capacity for that. Like that's not what I want to do.
Right.
That's not where I want to go. So then that could also be a disruption, right? So when you come into who you truly are as a man or as a woman, it's going to cause disruption for those around you, because who you've been is not who you're becoming.
Exactly.
So, and I love the fact that you brought that out to us, because that's the price of alignment. It's going to cost you something.
Oh, it's definitely gonna cost you something.
That's what I heard. Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: if you'd rather it cost you something, because alignment, yes, is going to cost you something, but disobedience has receipts.
Say that again.
So alignment is going to cost you something, but if you stay disobedient, it comes with receipts.
Come on here.
So you rather it cost you something than to let those receipts stack up, because now you're missing out on a lot of things that God might have for you, and those are going to have receipts to them. So you know, everybody always say, bring receipts. Disobedience go definitely have receipts.
Yeah, because disobedience, delayed obedience is still,
it's going to have a receipt to it. And like
yeah,
I said, you're going to be able to take,
going to be
you'll be
a
able to
cost.
look back on it like,
Yeah.
I would have just, and that's what you don't want. You'd rather just cost you something with no receipt. I paid the price for it. I got it. It is what it is.
Do you think, Coach, that, and I didn't have this in my notes, but do you think that it's hard for men to submit to the will of God because of the breaking? And when we look at any man in the Bible, we look at Yeshua, we look at Jesus, right? When we look at Joseph, he had to be broken, and his level of being broken was 12 years a slave and then some.
And
right?
Yes. And yes.
So Joseph went through it. Elijah went through it.
But you show your shoulders like it's easy.
Huh?
That's not easy. You said 12 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm not.
Let's be honest with you. It was, for me, it was 3 years.
Okay.
And I know for a fact, I don't even think I'm built enough to make it 12 years before to have to come out, because I was at my breaking point to like, man, this ain't for me. And all of a sudden I started seeing some daylight, because I was trying. It's harder to do right than it is to do wrong.
Say that again.
It's harder to do right than it is to do wrong.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you, doing wrong, I don't even got to think about it. I can do wrong, like, man, look, that's easy. So for me, it's actually, so, and see, I don't like to say it's wrong, but I understand what men are going through. The smoking, the drinking, I understand it, because what y'all don't see is it's a coping mechanism. They're trying to
anesthetize the pain.
Yes, and it does it for a brief second. It does, seriously, it does it for a brief second, but that same, they come back to the next day.
The women, not just one woman, but the next one.
See, now the women part of it is different, because, like I said, as men, we was taught that that's like a
badge of honor or something like that.
Yeah, like you the man if you got this woman, or you get her, or she fine, or this and that. So it's like a
notch on your belt.
It's a notch on your belt, but it's stupid, because don't nobody even care. But when you're growing up, they made it into a system that, like, if you ain't playing, you ain't winning. That's how it's just, that's what it is. But that's kind of that. By the time you get about 20 something, that really don't mean nothing.
It wears out.
It wears out, but you've already been hurt. Whether you've been hurt by women, the streets, friends. By the time you 20 something, you've already been hurt so many times that you already in a isolation mode, where you're trying to isolate yourself from your true feelings.
Wow.
Because you're not yourself no more. You're not that
Yeah, you're a
innocent
made up
kids the
version.
boys was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, and see, I don't really want to say this, but I'm going to say it. That's where a lot of us, or single women, are hurting their young men today, because they're over
mothering.
over mothering their young boys, and they're
And
making
making
them
them,
so.
yeah. Well, you know how I feel about that. We talked about it.
I'm just saying, it's
Yeah,
like
because
that's what's happening,
yeah, it's
because,
absolutely true. Men are becoming effeminate.
but it's because of the mother's love.
Is that love or is it something else?
No, it's love. They're loving their, and they don't want nobody to hurt their child. This, and that. But it's some bumps and bruises a man just has to go through, and it's
Right.
because of it's the, like I said, it's the challenges, it's the competition of men.
Let me ask you a question, because now we out here now.
I said I didn't want to say it. I didn't
I
want to
know,
say
no, we out here now.
Yeah, we're in the
So
middle of the
what
street
is
now.
an effeminate man? Is it a gay man or is it something more than that?
What do you mean? Say that one more time.
Effeminate. What does it mean to be an effeminate man? And I think
To me,
I have some ideas, but I would really
to
love
me
to
is
hear your thoughts.
look, to me, it's more of a emotional man.
Yeah. Okay.
Men aren't built to be emotional. We have emotions,
Mm-hmm.
but we're more analytic. We think
Yeah.
things. We go,
Process
we work through things. We process through things. But as soon as a man they start dealing with emotions. Now you're dealing with you're dealing with an idle mind, to the point where the devil can come in and make them think that it's okay to be feminine, to be loving on each other. You know what I mean?
And see, for me, Coach, I don't think it's just, I'm not talking to. I'm talking to me, an effeminate man is a man that doesn't have. I'll give you a character in the Bible.
Okay.
An effeminate man in the Bible is Ahab.
Okay.
He connected himself to Jezebel, and so he was run by Jezebel. So Jezebel, his wife, was sitting up there, and when he came home crying to her that he wasn't able to ascertain Nabal's land, his vineyard, she was like, well, I'll get it for you. And so when women step into the role of a man and a man steps into the role of the woman, that's like a two-headed monster. It's out of order. A woman shouldn't be the head.
And I agree with you on that. But is that, from that scenario that you just gave, from that scenario, is it the fault of the man or is it Jezebel?
Well, to me, he's not taking his rightful seat of authority.
I get that. But Jezebel, what did she want around her? She wanted men that didn't have no...
Yeah. She castrated all the men around her.
Okay. So,
yeah.
That spirit of Jezebel,
yes.
Why is that? So, like I said, that's the woman, that in that particular scenario you gave, that's the woman who wants to be a man.
And that's the woman that wants the control to lead.
So, that's
really, Jezebel is a spirit, but to me,
that's what I'm saying. So, but I'm saying you can't blame, at that particular point, you can't necessarily blame that on the man, because
I can.
We want to admit it or not, women have power.
Yes, they do.
And if it's used in the wrong way,
yes.
Can you really blame the man on that?
Well, to me, here's the thing. Because we were talking about single mothers raising these boys, mm-hmm. and ultimately overdoing it.
Okay.
That's going to be my nice way of saying it. To the point where these men have feminine traits. They don't have to be homosexual to have these feminine traits, these effeminate traits. But these traits are leading the family or leading them in the wrong direction, because the man is not taking his rightful seat of authority.
But you said, wait a minute. So I'm old school. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You got feminine traits. You gay. I don't know. You feminine traits.
No, not always. If feminine,
I don't know those guys. I don't know the ones that got feminine traits and still trying to be married. Because if you got feminine traits.
Well, I'll say it like this: you can be effeminate and not be homosexual in your orientation.
But what my question to you would be, why would a woman marry that? Or what would she find attractive in that? Because he's making money?
So listen to this. Effeminate means having characteristics and the ways of behaving traditionally associated with women and regarded inappropriate for a man. So like you just said, clearly, for a man to be overly emotional and be led all by his emotions and want somebody to take care of him and want somebody to do stuff for him and try to get his way, use manipulation, use emotions in the way that Ahab did with his wife when he didn't get his way, when the man told him, look, I'm not selling this property. This is for my kids. And he could have just went home and be like, okay, but he went home and cried to his wife. So that was a choice that the man made independent of her, because he was used to crying on a woman's shoulder, expecting her to fix his problem.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Okay? Men are men. So therefore, they come up against a situation, they don't run to their mama. See, and that's what's wrong with it. I'm just gonna tell it. They don't run to their mama and run and tell it. I mean, then are you a man then? Do you handle your business like that? Or do you have to go run and tell somebody?
Like I said, I feel like, I don't know how we got out here, but I feel like
you brought it up. You said
I feel like this new generation is definitely over motherly.
Yes, they've been over nurtured and not enough discipline under and that's why I'm so glad you're doing this, because I was trying to get to a place where we would talk about the work that you're doing with the young men, because a lot of these men or boys, right, they are being raised by women, and there are things that a woman cannot teach a young boy. He's got to learn that from a man. Now, I'm not saying that women can't raise boys, but there's a tendency, and there's a whole group of men coming up, especially in the Black community, where 75% of our children are being raised in the United States. 75% are being raised by single moms, right? So that's a huge number. So organizations like yours, like Raw Kingdom Warriors, that would take these young people and train them up and instill those godly values and morals and teach them what a real man is. And there are men out there that are completely heterosexual, but they are effeminate because they like coming up under a woman instead of taking their lead, their authority.
Oh, okay.
Now we can talk about that.
You just said that. I've been saying that. Hold up, don't get it confused. I like being a under a woman too. Now, don't get.
No, but what I'm.
I know. I get where you go with that. I was just saying.
I mean, they don't have to be gay.
I don't understand that. That's that.
Scenario. Okay, I got you.
Because, like I said, I grew up in a different era, and there was no fine lines. Either you this or you that.
Yeah.
But
you know what I'll say, and then I'll leave it here. There was a preacher that you and I both know. He's a heterosexual male. And he was raised by a woman, and not homosexual. And he talked about, and from his own experience, this is Mr. Darby, he talked about how he was effeminate because he had these traits. So that's when my eyes became open, Stephen Darby, to the fact that, and how God had to lead him out of that so that he could be a strong man and leader for his own household. Of course, he definitely is a leader and has left a legacy that we both enjoy. But he mentioned that, so that's what helped me to really understand. That's part of the reason why programs like yours are so important, because what it'll do, so people learn by watching.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things are not taught, they're caught. Like my daughter knows how to be a woman because she's seen me be one, right? There are things that she's going to see just by virtue of being around me all these years, right? The same thing with our boys. Because a lot of our men are absent in our communities, right? They don't have a lot of that tutelage that they need, some tools that they need in their tool. But can they get it elsewhere? Yes, you probably can get it in the military, or you can get it in the prison complex. I mean, I'm just messing.
It's honestly, I think a mother can do it. I think mothers can do it.
But it takes a very special mother to know where those lines are, right?
Yeah.
And to not cross them, because sometimes what's happening in our communities is they're making their sons their boyfriend or the man in the house.
Ooh, I've seen that happen too many times.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
And there's a colloquial
it starts to get weird.
Huh?
It starts to get weird.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's where she's building an effeminate man. Not a man that has a backbone.
Right. It's not even a backbone. She's building a man for her.
Thank you.
Not thinking about the next woman that's gonna come along and try to marry, and he marrying her, but she's answering
he married over here.
Right. He answering to his mama like, your mama don't live here, bro.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is that when our men are not in rightful position, when they don't understand their identity, when they don't know how to leave and cleave and do the things that they need to do for this new family that God has given them, there's this stuff. So that's where I see where Raw Kingdom Warriors, what you're building for our young people who are in that set of circumstances. Like they may or may not have a pastor, a teacher, and you being a coach, you're in a place of authority where you could begin to speak life principles into them.
Right. And with that, I can't think of the actual scripture in the Bible, but that's something like that is in the Bible when it comes to you being raised in your family to be set apart, to be able to go apart and raise your own family.
Yeah.
So that's like you said.
Yeah.
Everything that we're talking about, we're getting in alignment is in this word right here.
Well, Coach, I thank you so much for your time. I just have one question for you. So when you look back over your life and all the choices, decisions that you made, when you stand before God,
mm-hmm.
what do you want to hear him say about how you lived your life?
Ooh. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. And for me, honestly, I pray that I still got a lot more time, because I got some things I want to do now that I'm on this side. You know what I mean? So I want to say well done, but I'm still so early in my journey, man. I want to show up and show out on this side for God, like I showed up and showed out on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta get to the point where I can do me the way I know I can do me on this side.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So, and then I think for a fact I would want him to say, well done, you did that thing.
I love it. You did that thing. Okay.
Well, it's almost like you know how you know something, and you can do something, but it's hard. It's been hard for me because I had to get to the point where I had to accept that God made me for a reason. I went through everything I went through to be this person, to help people from this person, not being like nobody else. I can't be nobody else. I can only be me.
Exactly.
And once I accepted that, I'm full steam ahead now. So it's like, I'm out here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I so appreciated you. We had
Yeah,
a great time,
thank you. I
and
appreciate
I appreciate just your openness and just your honesty about your life, your challenges, and how God helped you to overcome and really become the aligned man. So hopefully we'll have you back here again.
No, hopefully. I would be honored to be back. And you guys, if y'all get a chance, come check me out. I'm on the Raw Report on YouTube. I got Raw Kingdom Warriors. Come join my community. If y'all got any young men who need some help, need talking through something, tell them to join. It's a free community. And
So what is your website again?
rawdevelopment.org is my website. My community is Raw Kingdom Warriors.
Okay.
And my YouTube is the Raw Report.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you so much, Coach Wiggins. And we'll see everybody next time on the Inspire Every Life podcast.